space. Hi, everybody. We're just waiting on Jay, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello. How's it going? Thanks for joining. So today we are doing a queer artsy live stream for Pembroke Pride. It's really exciting to be able to actually have Pembroke Pride because growing up here, there was no such thing. And really doing theater within the theater community was like a place of safety and dance and a few other spaces, but in general there wasn't so much stuff going on. So this is really cool and really awesome that we are doing this. So I'm gonna let everyone introduce themselves, but I'll just introduce myself quickly. I'm Cameron Dreamshare. I run Studio Dreamshare in downtown Pembroke, which is basically my art studio, but I also run events for the community, and it's kind of an arts experiment. I would just describe it as an arts experiment. You can see behind me, my friend Stuart is working on a wood project.
Amazing.
Whistling away. There's a couple other people in the studio today. Yeah, so basically the thing that I'm going to be showing you today is always, like, growing up, I found that clothing didn't always suit my moods or taste growing up in a small town. So I have a few pieces of clothing that I got at Value Village, and they were selected because I love the color, I love the pattern, or other aspects of the way the drape of the fabric is, but maybe they just didn't really suit my body, or I got them in the boys section, or I got them in some other section. And so I'm just going to show you just a few tips for ways that you can tailor clothing to suit your needs. So like maybe altering sleeves or just other things we're gonna show. But first I'm gonna let the other artists who are joining us today introduce themselves. All right, so let's start with, Dorian, is everyone able to talk? Okay, cool. So Dorian from Deepers Productions is actually managing the live stream for us right now, and thank you so much, Dorian, for doing that. We really appreciate it. So let's start with, on my screen, I see Afra has joined in first. So let's start with Afra.
Great. Can you hear me? Yeah, maybe?
Yes.
I am a non-binary lesbian, so that's fun. Discovering identity, always great. I just want to say that I love altering clothing. Obviously, like, that's the wrong side. Like, I like making patches and stuff. Oh my god, this backwards camera is killing me. But also, I'm just here to talk about polymer a little bit. And as a lesbian, it's part of my culture to make literally everything into earrings. And I'm going to University for Fine Art in Montreal in September. I am exempt from taking first-year painting because I'm just that gay. So I guess that's my introduction. If there's anything else I need to say, I don't know.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, let's go next to Jay.
Hi, my name is Jay Foster. I'm currently living in Thunder Bay. I'm a trans man. I've been transitioning, I would say, probably about 5 years now. I've been on hormones for about 4, on and off at times, but like for the most part, yeah, 4 years. In Thunder Bay, we have quite a large drag scene, which is really cool. And we've kind of been bending the rules a little. We don't adhere to really strict gender rules. We have a lot of bio queens, if you've heard of that term at all. So it's like cis women, or women who identify as women and doing drag as women's. And a lot of non-binary drag too. It's really cool, and we don't really judge for that. So it's created a really awesome, diverse group. So today, anyone has any questions about any trans-related issues, I love talking about it, and I'm more than willing to answer any questions. Also, I'm currently working on a costume piece for one of the drag things. I'll show you this piece. It's like this crop top. Can't really see it well. Like crazy wings on it. I'm going to be adding feathers to it, make it look really witchy and cool. So yeah, I guess that's it for me.
All right, and Bree.
Hi, I'm a queer femme and I live in Pembroke at the moment. I moved here from Montreal. I am a multidisciplinary artist. I sew a lot of things for theater, for film and such, and have always been someone who works with my hands in art. Today I'm going to show some of my work I do in vulva portraits. And so the reason what brought me to doing vulva portraits is the amount of shame that there is in society around bodies, and particularly what our society as a patriarchal society really shames the vulva as something as gross and shameful and should be hidden or altered. And there has been actually a rise in labioplasty in the last few years. And so I wanted to kind of express that concern of mine and through art and engage in conversation. And through some of the art that I've done, I'm just going to show some here. I'm able to have conversations with people about menstruation, about pubic hair, about full labia, about asymmetry, all those kind of things that we don't see in the mainstream, like say porn culture of what a vulva looks like. And I think that it's a very important self-expression as well in that. So I'm going to show kind of my process, and maybe it inspires people to do their own vulva portraits at home. One of the things that I had growing up, I grew up in a feminist hippie household that was very open. I had this book from Betty Dodson on the shelf, and it's a book from the 70s. It's a masturbation workshop that she would put on, and it has images in here of like self-portraits of women from the workshops that were just tuning into their body in a sexual way. And even though I had something like this and an home environment that was supportive of that, I still felt shame in my body and also in my sexuality as a queer femme, because of the peer presence of that shame and because of our general society's view of that, and as a teenager wanting to fit in. So I think that even if your home environment is supportive, it's really important to work at representation in mainstream media, in mainstream culture, to say that it's okay to have a different body that's different than everyone else's. Your body is beautiful because it's your body, and it doesn't have to fit any kind of standards of anybody else, of societies, of anybody's, except for your own values of what beauty means and how you want to modify your body in terms of hair, in terms of hormones, in terms of surgeries. It is up to you and up to you only, and that doesn't make a difference in terms of how valid you are, or how beautiful you are, and what your gender identity is. So that's kind of my message behind my work that I'm going to do. So that's my intro. My name's Bree.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. So we're gonna be yes. Lisa Cote says this is also awesome. Lisa, you're so awesome too. Thank you. So we're going to be showing our work, and we're going to be working on our projects, but also just kind of having a casual conversation with each other about our own experiences, questions. You're welcome to ask questions if you're watching in the live chat. Dorian will post them up on the screen, and we'll just kind of give our feedback and hang out and chat. One thing that Bree mentioned that sort of brought up something for me is that like I found in my identity growing up that I want to be a tomboy sometimes, like dress in sporty clothes or look a certain way. And then sometimes I'd want to wear like crazy, outrageous, like look like a cupcake dresses. and
Yeah.
having a lot of trouble, like just sort of like coming to terms with that and explaining it to people. Not that you have to explain it to people, but it was really hard for people to understand my self-expression. And yeah, just like we just need to build acceptance for people to express themselves however they want in any way that manifests, and it's so important. So with that said, I will get started. So the first piece I'm going to pull here is, this is like a classic Value Village top I got in, this one is from ladies section, but like, you know, wherever. I love like the teen boy section. I always find good stuff there. I'm like, yeah, Pokemon shirts or whatever. But this one I just like, I love the color. I love the drape of the fabric. But the sleeves are like weirdly long. Like when you put it on here, I'll model it for you. Like when you put this shirt on, it's like all the cool things that I love, but then there's like elements of it that I don't love. Like I just find, okay, first of all, these weird puffy shoulder pads, like what's going on, uncomfortable. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is cut those out. So I always cut out the shoulder pads. You can rip them out too, but I've definitely ripped clothes doing that, so I wouldn't recommend that. Just, I'd recommend, you know, ripping the seam. Maybe I'll get close so you can see. Oh, ripping the seam, and then it comes out like that. Just taking it apart. Yeah, so I guess while I'm cutting this up, if anyone else on the live stream wants to weigh in on dressing, like maybe let's talk about growing up in a small town or like a rural community and not being able to find anything to wear. Let's talk about that.
I grew up in northern BC, and the thrift store was my home. I would go for anything that was weird, and I still do. I gravitate towards anything I'm like, I can't tell if this is cool looking or really ugly. I'm gonna wear it and find out. That's still kind of my motto for thrift store shopping. But yeah, being able to alter your own clothes is huge for that, being able to find your perfect queer aesthetic. What about you, Afra?
When I was little, I would wear one of my I would steal my dad's shirts. I would wear his giant shirts, and I would wear like 2 skirts, and everybody thought I was crazy. I am crazy, but that's beside the point. Honestly, I live in the suburbs, so access to clothing is a little bit different for me, but I think honestly the struggle in expression and you know, like being seen as valid is very much the same. Like there's a lot of people who feign allyship by denouncing non-binary people, by sort of saying, oh, well, you make like trans people like look less valid. And it's like, well, you're just a dick. Like everybody's always judging trans and non-binary people. Non-binary people aren't making it harder for trans people. Transphobes are making it harder. And you're helping them. You're helping them destroy the community by infighting like this. I just recently had to like let go of a friend because she's a dick, and you know, like she's still feigning that allyship, and it's really unfortunate that it's really sort of widespread amongst all of our communities.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad. All right, Jay, how about you? So first, I just want to say, I know Jay because we went to high school together. We've known each other since like grade 5, actually. And Jay is one of my favorite human beings on earth. Yes, one of my most favorite human beings on the face of the earth. And yeah, we have memories from way back. And I'm sad that you live so far away.
Oh, right. I think about it all the time. I totally need to get back to Pembroke. Just even for the nature, like as weird as it sounds, like I love it here, but it's like the weather is just that much different. Yeah, okay, clothes. Yeah, oh my gosh. That's the biggest reason I got into sewing, because the things I wanted to wear didn't exist. And size is another big thing. I've always been like an extra small, and like even when you find extra small, sometimes it doesn't fit. And and as a woman too, or growing up, I was always super flat chested, so that was like another big thing that was really fun coming out of trans for, because breast is like a really, in the society anyway, toxic society. It's an indication of beauty and femininity. So I always judged myself super harshly for that. And then when I realized I was trans, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like the luckiest trans man alive to be born with such class. It's funny how that, I actually really, I guess I'll talk more about that, more what Bree said. It's a little off topic about just like the vulva, and that's something recently, actually, I've been more recently coming more to terms with. Like, it's a big part of dysphoria, and accepting that as part of my body, and just like the process I've been going through, like that has been pretty awesome, I have to say. But yeah, it's great to sew, and I love the Cameron that you're showing how to take in clothes, because that's really important, and it makes a huge difference. Like, you have no idea. Just taking in the smallest amount sometimes totally changes the look. And when your clothes fit your body better, you just feel better. And then it's like one less thing you have to think
totally. Yeah, when you can get that silhouette that when like maybe your body doesn't line up with the silhouette you want to give, or the clothes that you want to wear don't give you the silhouette that you want. If you can change that so that you get the silhouette that you're after, it's so empowering. Like, you just feel so good in your clothes. You're like, damn, I'm a babe. Like, that feeling is priceless. It's so important.
Oh, it's like one of the best feelings in the world. I live for it.
So here's an example of what I'm doing with the sleeve. So this is just like the sleeve as it was. It's like big and derpy like your dad, and I don't want to look like your dad. I kind of want to look like your cute boy cousin, maybe. It's more so what I'm going for here. So like, I just rolled up the sleeve. Can you see that?
Cute.
So I rolled it up to a place where I like the drape. Can you really? I don't know if you can see the difference, but there's the rolled sleeve. So like, I like that shape. It's like a little more of a little triangle off the shoulder. And so I'm gonna just roll them both to that size. This is so simple, okay? I just pinned it. Just simple pins at the spot that I want. And like, I'm not measuring anything. You can do it that way. You can do it like right, but I just pin it exactly where I want it. And then I'm gonna just put a couple little stitches in to get the sleeve where I want, because the sleeve is like a really important part of the process for me.
Totally.
Can I just say that being non-binary and a lesbian is a struggle, because I have a packer and I have stuff to make earrings. I can't explain how hard it is to resist that urge.
No. Yeah, that's it. It's a struggle. Okay. My goodness. Okay. So another issue with the drape after the sleeve is like how far it falls on your body. So like, for me, I want stuff to fall sort of here when it's femmier, and then just like here when it's more masculine. So like, well, this is the boy's shirt actually that I'm wearing, but like, take this shirt for example. This is like, I love an old lady print. I love this like leopard print. But if it's a more feminine print, I might make choices to make it a little bit more masculine when I'm tailoring. You know, just to sort of balance it out so that I don't look too femmy. I just find, yeah, when I look too femmy, I just feel uncomfortable. I just feel uncomfortable in my own skin. Or if I look too masculine or too boxy, then I also don't feel attractive. So yeah, just for me, it's I basically tailor a little bit almost everything that I have. And just learning your own body, trying on different things and figuring out the shape that works for you. You know, just give the sleeve a roll and think like, Where is that most comfortable for you? And then just like, you know, applying it. Yeah. Ask friends that you know. Ask your grandma to teach you how to sew. Or me. You can ask me.
Or me.
Right. Or any of these fine folks. So Jay, maybe tell us some more about the drag scene in Thunder Bay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's so fun. It's like the best thing I ever got into here. I really helped with my being trans as well, because it gave me kind of an outlet to experiment and dress the way I want. Also, I've always loved Halloween. Oh my goodness, it was almost my excuse to cross dress every year. So like doing drags like Halloween every year and performing so much sweat, dancing, interacting with people, and it's a really great way to come into your sexuality, even because there is kind of like that sexy aspect to it. So it's like a way for you to play around with how you feel most sexy and like and confident within it. So yeah. Oh wow, we have a lot of bearded queens. Oh, sorry, go on. What do you say?
Oh no, I did a drag show once where like, yeah, I was like, wow, maybe as a woman I don't want to flirt with this person, but as a boy I'm really turned on by this interaction with this person. It changes something. There's magic in drag. For sure. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to like get you off topic.
No problem. Wait, I just kind of. Oh wait, there. I fixed my screen. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Right? Like that's such a fun part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of queens is another interesting thing, and a lot of bald queens. So like again, like kind of a very non-binary feel. A lot of our performers, we almost don't. It's like we started using like just drag performer as kind of a gender catch-all term, because so many of our performers will go on stage and have like a more feminine look, and then the next be in a more masculine look, and then be somewhere in between. The last one I participated in. Was back in February, because before everything hit, which has been unfortunate, kind of put a halt on a lot of our performances that way. This was more of a, we have a fashion show every year called Derelict, and from Zoolander, it's actually like,
yes.
right? So it wasn't so much performance. There was like a little bit. It was more of like a fashion show, which my forte. I was so into that. And our theme.
Did you give the crowd some blue steel?
I wonder if someone did. I think they just someone should legitimately do. Like, I wonder if it's the first year they did it, like an actual more Zoolander theme, but next year, that's a really good idea. I'm gonna make sure I put it in just for you. So yeah, our fantasy creatures. So we got a lot of really interesting looks. I was fox. And then I kind of made it like, I don't know. I'll have to, I have pictures on my Instagram if anyone ever is interested to see.
Yeah, so all these folks have Instagram. I know that Bree has a Facebook page. I don't know if you have a Facebook page, Jake, for your stuff. I don't know if I don't think After has a Facebook page. No, so Instagram.
I'm more active on Instagram anyways. It's really it's a better platform for queer art.
I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so. Definitely for me, like I interact with a lot of parents, so Facebook is definitely the best for that. But definitely for sharing actual work, I would say Instagram is more.
And I think Facebook's also better for event planning, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. Like, how do you schedule a live stream on Instagram? You kind of don't.
No idea.
Do it. Or I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know. I couldn't. But yeah. Oh, there we go. So Dorian's popped up Jay's Instagram.
Yeah, I think that's my Instagram. I just looked up on Facebook. My drag name's Max Speed. So on Facebook, my drag is more, but on Instagram, it's more of my sewing. And I do post drag pictures occasionally to Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna check quick to make sure that's right.
Okay. So Jay is like a master sewer and can actually make like amazing tailored clothing, perfectly tailored clothing, and works at Fabricland, which is always great. So it always helps. So Afra, I would love you to talk about some of your, so basically the thing that twigged me onto Afra was she had this jean jacket that she embroidered to say the wrong Amazon is burning, and it was pretty amazing. And I just love like then noticing all the activism stuff, which I just think that art and activism go hand in hand, and representation is like inherently tied to art and self-identity, like the way that you present yourself. I just feel like artists are sort of by nature queer in the kind of, in the Judith Butler like sense of normalcy, you know, like we all fall on a spectrum of queerness in terms of like how we move around the world. So that's why I feel like art has been this really safe space, at least in my own experience. Obviously not everywhere, but you know, my own experience growing up in this town, and yeah, and living in different places. I've always felt like the art community and the queer community have been allies in a lot of ways, especially in regards to like, you know, how you like your self-style, right? Like when you walk into a room and everyone's sort of like wearing corporate, and you can see who the colorful people are. It's sort of like sometimes they're queer, sometimes they're artists, or sometimes they're both. But you know, it's like instant friendship in a way. So yeah, maybe Afra, if you want to talk about some of your like your period art is pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really started out doing some of the more like nude stuff and getting into like traditional art when I was younger. So I guess I grew as an artist really fast, and I grew as an activist really fast. And so I immediately, like, as I got better, I incorporated that into my art more. And I think too, like over time, like whereas I used to do again like more nudes and stuff, I mostly did drawings. Like it was mostly just drawings. But as I've been getting more interested in activism, and as I've been getting more interested in like expanding my art, I've been growing into all these different things. Like I started doing watercolor, I started doing acrylic, I started doing oil, I started doing polymer, I started doing embroidery. I've done screen printing. I just do all kinds of things, and I love altering my clothing. Like most of my clothing at this point is altered because, and it's not even like, I don't even sew very well. I just sew patches on. But it's mostly just because I'm unapologetic. Like I'm kind of in your face. I love
that. I love that so much. No, honestly, that's like a red flag to me where I'm like, this bitch is cool.
Yeah.
You know?
As a queer that's almost 40, it's like very, very encouraging for the future to see teenagers like you. So I'm just like, you warm my heart.
And I'm kind of into the punk scene, and part of my problem with the punk scene is right-wingers always trying to appropriate it, and like wearing like and listening to like bands that are punk and being like, I'm so punk. But the thing that's most important about the punk scene and like the alternative scene is alternative ideas, which are leftists. They're always leftist. They're not always the same kind of leftist. Sometimes they're more anarchist. Sometimes they're more Leninist, but they're never conservative. They're never like all lives matter. They're never white pride. And so I hate that, like, you know, like these white men are listening to like Rage Against the Machine. And I don't know if you know, but like, it was a long time ago, and he should have known better, but he didn't. And the guy who sung it, and who would say that's wrong now, he used the N-word in in a friendly way. And so YouTube censors that, obviously, because it's a white guy saying the N-word. And the guys in the comments are all 40-year-old white men being like, this is exactly what he's talking about. This is the machine he's raging against. Like, no. 40-year-old white men think the machine that they're raging against is their mom, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I also live in kind of conservative-ish Barhaven. Like it's mostly like government jobs and like military and stuff. And it's a suburb. For white gays, there's acceptance for being gay. They've created safe spaces in the school where they're like, yeah, you're not allowed to discriminate against gender differing students, but obviously that's not working. Like I had a teacher who, he did his best in class because he didn't want to get fired, but he had this club called Think Tank. And if there's a club called Think Tank and there's only white kids showing up in a school that's 15% Arab, like you should just be scared, right?
Yeah, Think Tank.
Yeah, anyway, so I showed up once because my ex-boyfriend was trying to change them from within and like make them leftists, but obviously that didn't work. But I showed up one time and the teacher compared non-binary people to schizophrenics. Like,
oh, great.
Where are my antipsychotics at, dude? Give them to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, but for sure, like what you were saying with like the art community being accepting, like Miss Jensen, I love Miss Jensen. I love her. She's my ceramic teacher, and like she always has a safe space. Like whenever I made new queer friends who didn't really have a lot of friends or whatever, I'd be like, come into Miss Jensen's room. Like I remember one time I was like, I met one of my best friends, and she wasn't really familiar with the art community, but we're kind of standing outside, and like the vice principal is like, you're not allowed to stay in the hallway, go home. And so I was like, let's go into the art room, because Miss Jensen, no matter if she was teaching a class or whatever, you could always just sit in her couch and make some tea and cry on her shoulder.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Love it. Oh, Miss Jensen. Shout out to Miss Jensen. That's
one
awesome.
time I pet ducks with her.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, that's great. Yeah, well, Jay and I had Miss Fisher. Do you remember Miss Fisher?
Oh my gosh, Miss Fisher, that's a name I hadn't heard forever.
Right? Just like be who you are, be crazy, do whatever kind of art you want, live it. You know, she was like a real artist amongst, whatever, Pembroke.
Who was the drama teacher again, too? I really liked her as well. I forget her name.
The drama. See, I didn't take drama in high school because I was doing stuff with Pembroke Little Theater, so I didn't take drama, but I did hear good things about her. That was your good place. How about you, Bree? Did you have
also, birds I hear in your background?
Yeah, I have two budgies. They're assholes. I love
thought that was your birds, Jeannie.
Yeah,
sorry.
I used to have a bird named Blue, and he was my best friend, and he spoke. Even though he was a budgie, like he spoke. He would tell me to do the dishes. He was amazing. I loved him. He got a little bit lonely near the end, so I got him Pierre. Unfortunately, he passed last year, and so I got Pierre from Carl because I'm going away to university and I can't bring them with me. And I'm like his only friend. He doesn't really like people very much. So I just have two antisocial birds who like to yell at me.
Aw.
But it's okay.
Amazing.
That's surprising a budgie can actually, I have my one, I feel like if I taught him he would speak, but he mimics sounds. So like almost to a T, he mimics my other bird, and I always yell at my other bird. I'm like, stop being loud, and it's my budgie. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Jay, do you still have Twitch?
Yeah, he's going on 14 years now. And
oh my god, he's still alive!
Break my heart. Yeah, I'll come put it on my shoulder.
Oh my god, that's so crazy. I didn't know that budgies could live that long. Good old Twitch. Hey, Joanne says hi. How's it going, Joe? Joanne is a straight woman who is super fabulous, has a giant closet of sequin dance outfits.
Amazing.
And is like the gayest straight woman you've ever met. Basically. Aww, Jay's getting Twitch.
Oh my god, Miss Jensen.
My head.
So my best friend, I love
Yeah.
her bird. My best friend's name is Rhea, and she's a trans girl. And she was in the closet for a long time. She's kind of antisocial, and she's kind of just really anxious and dealing with stuff. But when she started estrogen, the first day she came to my art class, and Miss Jensen threw a party for her, and we called it Estrofest. And yeah, and only girls were allowed. And there was like pink M&Ms, and we played songs that made her feel like a woman. My favorite being Rah Rah Rasputin.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Yeah.
And that was Miss Jensen's brainchild?
Yeah, she's straight. She's the gayest straight person I know. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She wear a pink unitard to it. Like full body. She's like, this is for you. You're never gonna get to see this again.
Yeah,
allies are so important. It's so important.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Like in the system, so to speak, like schools, and to have a teacher actually show that kind of sport is so important. I feel like sometimes it really depends, like obviously home life, but like I found like my home life's always been really supportive, but then like making your way in the greater world is like kind of the interesting struggles you come up against. And of course that's could be opposite for other people, and it's just really great. Any support anywhere is always so welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, like that cool teacher is like a lifeline sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I would go to her classroom during my spare, and I would make vulva mugs. So
You'd make what? Sorry?
Vulva mugs.
Yeah. Oh, vulva mugs. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so sad. I made a vulva teapot, and I love it. But because of quarantine, I never got the chance to make a lid for it. So now I just have a teapot with no lid that I'm going to bring to Montreal with me.
Oh, well, you'll find a way to fix that, I'm sure.
In Montreal, there are shared ceramic studios that you can.
Oh yeah, I'm taking a ceramic class.
Great. Are you at Concordia?
Yeah. Yeah, I got into OCAD, but I was too scared to go to Toronto, so.
I think you'll really like the queer community in Montreal. It's really great. And the art that you do will be welcome and celebrated. So that will be a good experience for you.
Yay. Yeah, so what is the program about, Afra? Like, what exactly is it?
So I'm going into studio arts. So you have to take. So this year I had to take one art history class, one art theory class, and 3. Sorry, those are half-term classes, and then there's one that are like the full thing. I had to take 3 like studio art classes. So I'm taking feminism and art history, and I think like philosophy and art theory, and I'm taking ceramics and drawing, and I'm taking second year painting because apparently I'm better at painting than drawing. Who knew?
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, you paint clothes too, right?
Yeah. I need to get fabric medium. I've been just using acrylic paints, and I'm like, who cares if it cracks? It's part of the aesthetic.
Yeah. That's real. You gotta just work with what you have.
If you were here, I'd give you mine. I have some. I wish we were like all in the same space, because I've been sewing for years and years and years, and it sounds like Jay and I would have a lot to talk and like plan projects together. And Afra and I also both do vulva stuff, and Cameron, I love going thrift shopping, and we've talked about like costume projects and stuff, and it's like, oh, so happy to be here, guys.
Yes. Well, I've made a lot of like wacky costumes for children's fantasy film projects, but yeah, I definitely want to get you on. Yeah, so with COVID, the Winter Witch just sadly, I don't know. I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, some changes will have to be made. We are going to resume shooting in July, actually, but
oh wow,
like at the end of July, we're resuming shooting. So I'll have to give you a call
Anytime.
about some costume stuff.
So can I show you what I'm working on right now with my hands?
Yeah. Oh, good idea.
So it's a work in progress. Like what I can show you one up close that say that I've already done. This is a vulva portrait that's made out of lace, and when I do these, I use like scrap fabrics. I'm a creative hoarder, if you will, and save all the little bits and pieces of precious projects because I feel like the fabric is just too beautiful to throw out. So I have bits and pieces of lace, and some of this is like a collection from my grandma's vintage lace, and it has a pearl clit that's an elongated style clit to show variety, and this silk in the background was like a period skirt that I did for a theater production. So like I kind of just use all the little bits and pieces. And so here, this is one that I'm working on right now with an even larger clit, kind of to represent the testosterone growth that happens. And this is actually a crystal that I got at Brimstone and Belladonna.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
a copper coated quartz crystal. So it has really good properties in it as well. So I feel like this is going to be like a really like powerful witchy portrait as well. And I'm making it out of this leather that I had left over from a project. And I'm using this fabric that I have that has like glitzy tinsel on it.
Yeah.
I've made kind of a frame for it, so it's going to have some glitzy pubes coming around in this like gorgeous coppery color. So this is where I'm going with this piece, and I've like crinkled it to make it look more realistic. So I'm just slowly piecing this together by hand. I use an embroidery hoop, and I put some fabric to strengthen the back here. Yeah, so usually I don't even ever have a plan of how it's going to turn out. I just see fabrics and I'm like, oh, this wants to move like that. And so, you know, like I have a whole collection here of different laces that really feel good to make portraits in vulva portraits out of lace. Just to have that like flouncy, textured feeling that labia have. This is one has a piercing. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on.
I love it. I love your art so much.
Thank you.
I love that you did a crystal. That's so good.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this idea.
It's amazing. I love it so much.
I'm actually
I know so many people who want that, who need a commission of that. So Dorian,
and I'm gonna put it in this really, really fancy frame too.
Beautiful.
So it's gonna be just like this, like gorgeous piece at the end. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's a great find. So Dorian, who is helping us out with the live stream, his mom is one of the co-owners of Brimstone and Belladonna, which is an amazing, really positive space, awesome, affirming store in downtown Pembroke, where you can get like all kinds of stuff made by local artists, like witchy stuff, incense. Dorian just got a tarot reading today. So good times.
When I was first moving here, I was walking down down Main Street in Pembroke, and I saw that there was a witch store on the main street of town with like a safe space pride sticker in the window, and I was like, everything's gonna be a-okay.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. I think Regina's watching right now, actually. Pretty sure she's on. So that's a good shout out. Regina, I think she's on the live stream right now watching.
Hi. Thank you for making me feel welcome.
Did you tell her about the crystal clit?
I don't know. I may have said that when I was purchasing. I was like holding a bunch of different crystal, sorry, and trying to see which one felt like more in the right shape that I was going for. I really wanted it to be like an elongated, so, and have the properties that I was looking for about like empowering and self-expression and like being centered in yourself. I wanted to have all those good energies coming into this piece as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. That's amazing. So I've been collecting pieces from the commission you're gonna do for me, and I have like, yeah, I've got some like buckskin, and I've got some like pieces of embroidered stuff. Like just anyway, I'm super pumped, but I want a crystal clit. Okay, I'm requesting a crystal clit right now.
Perfect.
Like citrine.
Perfect.
That's my request.
Yeah, that's actually one of the ones that I was looking at rose quartz citrine, and then they actually suggested in the store this the copper coated quartz, because it brings like the properties of copper and quartz together. And I thought that the color really worked well with. I was gonna go with citrine actually. It's funny you say that first because of the yellow gold quality. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Have you heard of the word yoni as a descriptive? Yeah, those are yoni magic.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
Beautiful. All right, Jay, are you ready to show anything?
What are you doing?
No pressure.
Yeah, here, I'll even put it on this here.
Woo, fashion show, even better.
And so it's meant to be worn without anything underneath, but I'll just show you it on top here. The person I'm making this for is about the same size as me, so it really works out. So it's like this kind of, let's see if it's right here. So it's like Dracula vibes a little bit. It's meant to just be like a crop top, like it just covers the nipples with perhaps a bit of a scandalous show as you're moving around. It's kind of got these like floofy sleeves with like this tight gauntlet style right there. So I've got like the bat wings on the shoulders to really give it this really cool silhouette look to it.
Oh my!
Right? And they're adjustable. You can bend them and kind of put them anywhere you want. So right on what I'm going to do is on the yoke here, this is a piece called the yoke. You can sometimes see it on button-up shirts have it, and there's like a piece up at the top of the back. It's very like cowboy style. But I'm making the yoke, I'm putting feathers on the yoke. So I was really unsure how I was going to do that. It's a really nice satin. I didn't know because I'm probably going to use hot glue. But what I did is I cut out another piece, right? And you can see I'm kind of laying it down, and I've got all these feathers here that were from a old Halloween costume of mine that I'm repurposing.
Perfect.
So yeah, so I'm just kind of setting them down and placing them and figuring how I want to do it. I don't know if you can see it there. So I have like the longer feathers, and then I have the little like floofy down feathers that I'm going to really create this like layered look to it. And so that's what I'm doing.
Oh my God!
I should show off some other things. Here's a lot of my clothes I get a lot of queer people to commission for, because again, like you can never find things that fit well. So this is one of the latest because of COVID. Like I still have to get it, but here's a button up that I made. I specialize in button ups, so it's really you can see.
Oh, cute.
It's one of the ones. It's like you can see like more in it. I love getting unique fabrics. Here, I'll go grab a few more. Give me a second there.
Sweet. Oh my God, it's coming together so nicely. I feel like it matches Bree's vulva a little bit.
Which one?
Oh my gosh, on it.
Love it. So after
I think this one would go well with that because it's like has that texture like the feathers, but it's fur. You have to dig deep for the treasure in this one.
Dig deep for the treasure. Love it. Yes, I was gonna ask, Afra, you make patches, right?
Yes.
So tell me about that, because I totally want to get some patches made.
Honestly, so some people use like they have like embroidery machines, but I make them by hand because I don't know, like I feel like embroidery for me, it's about activism. I really got into embroidery because of like the new embroidery movement, where it's all kind of like really sort of radical, like leftist activism, you know, like against the cops and like for like queer and Black liberation and all that kind of stuff. And so I figured that as I would do it, I would incorporate it into activism. And I found that patches are sort of the most in the face way of doing that. But I really sort of fell in love with like altering clothes in activist ways. Shut up. Can you hear him? Oh my God.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going. He's like, I want to be on the live stream. Let me on.
Why are you like this?
Lots to say.
I feel like altering clothes is sort of the most in your face way to do it, because I feel like when you do art, when you do paintings, when you do like drawings, whatever, with political messages, people will be like, they'll see it and they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna make them look away. But there's just something so different about wearing it, right? Like I feel like everybody just wears like hoodies and t-shirts, but when you're wearing something that says all cops are bastards, or like for the rich, like it's really in your face and you can't look away and you're forced to confront your moral values, you know?
You know what? I love that. I freaking love that.
Yeah, and like that's sort of where I started with the embroidered jacket. It was part of my like in your face grade 12 final project. It was one of like 4 pieces, and the other 3 pieces were chalk pastel, because I was trying to show sort of how in your face you can get with like more traditional mediums first. And I was kind of showing like one of them was on Palestine, so it was like the body of like a child, and then one of them was on Yemen, it was the body of another child that was starved to death. And then what's the other one on? I don't remember, but regardless, the point was to sort of take a massive humanitarian crisis and put it in your face, and you could see the sadness and the death of children. And then I covered it in like corporate logos of who's like benefiting financially off of that kind of stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, and so that I wanted to do more in between work, but I didn't really have enough time. But it sort of started there, and I started branching it into into sort of other confrontational work, which is how I really got into altering clothes and stuff. And then patches kind of came out of there. I have a couple with me. I'll show you. I love this guy. He's a Care Bear.
I love that.
Yeah. Really, like I use an embroidery hoop. I draw the design on fabric, and then I just fill it in. Like I just use fill stitches. The only thing complex I've made is like an embroidered portrait, like a thread painting of Karl Marx, which took way too long, and it was sad to do, and it didn't even turn out that good.
I would say that your Amazon patch is complicated as well.
Yes, but it's not a thread painting though. Like it was just it was consistent, like just doing the same thing over and over again.
Like knots. You were using knots, eh?
Yeah. It's kind of like fill stitches and stuff. But like with thread painting, like you have to constantly be cutting and changing to different colors, and it's tiring. It's exhausting, and you have to use a reference photo too. Like one of my favorite things about embroidery is that I can just stick a show on, and I can just work on it because you don't need reference photos. But with thread paintings, you do need reference photos.
Yeah. You're gonna develop that though too, like with your practice over time.
Oh,
yeah. That's so awesome.
I'm gonna start a vulva embroidery portrait soon. I have one of my favorite things is going to Value Village and getting those scary dolls, the scary porcelain dolls and
Yeah.
altering them to be even more scary. We had this project in grade 12 where you're supposed to like take something like, what's it called? Like this kind of like soft or like too cute or like, you know, like too traditional, like to the point where it's kind of like meh, and then you have to like take it and mess it up and make people think about it. And I took this porcelain doll and I took one of its eyes out and I took its like the top of its head off and I hung it by like a rope. And I put like Christmas lights in its head. It was terrifying. My teacher hung it up for all of her like grade 9s to see. It was amazing. But I still have that eye that I took out of it, and I'm going to use it as the clitoris for a vulva portrait. I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's a good idea.
That's good. That's good.
One of the things that I use for the clitoris is lots of like vintage buttons.
Yeah,
I have some vintage buttons that were my grandma's, so I like that kind of matriarchy lineage usage in art of like these different collections. And then I also have these like shells because I make a vagina dentata sometimes too with like teeth in it.
Love it.
Yeah. I like what you were saying too about wearing your political art in that way, because it's true. It like gets it becomes a conversation piece, whether people want to talk about it or not. It's like noticed.
Yeah.
I do some of that too in jewelry. Like this ring I made here has a vulva crest on it, and so I think of it as like a protection ring, and I've made it into necklaces too.
Yeah.
And so like a friend of mine that wears this to work all the time, like she's had to be like, "Oh, that's a lovely necklace. What is it?" And then she's like, "It's a vulva."
Yeah.
Then met with that kind of like, "Oh, okay." You know, like it kind of opens this space for dialogue, even if it's like soft and like, you know, discreet. It's still there. It's still like carrying that energy with you of like,
yeah, I like that. You know, yeah, I have a cousin who, I don't know, I sort of got lost in my head here. I'm just thinking about all these things. Oh, okay, we have a message. LMFAO, love Value Village for all kinds of art supplies as well as older camera stuff and outfits for my daughter to play dress up. Can't exactly go out and do photo shoots right now. Soon enough though, from Tony. Thanks, Tony. Yeah. Yeah, so I finished the orange top. So
yeah, let's see.
Yeah, it's very simple. Like, I mean, I didn't really do much, but like, you know, just made it more comfortable for myself.
Looks
You
good.
know? Yeah, I wouldn't say this is like, you know, my art practice, but it's definitely my queer practice. So
Yes.
I guess I do make some costumes and things like that, but definitely my arts practice is more film oriented. But you know, do it all. Okay, I wanted to say something, but I lost it. What was it? Oh, you know what? When I met Afra, she came to an art show at the gallery, and like she showed up in her sweet jacket, like I'm wearing my cool jacket, I'm awesome, and like her presence politicized the exhibit. Like the artist saw her jacket and started talking about eco activism, and like it was just like just brought that to the space, and I really appreciated that.
That's cool.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. So there was a comment.
Cool. Yeah, activism.
Okay, so there's a comment on the screen. Afra, I have a bunch of old creepy dolls I've been collecting to upcycle as well. I make dreadlocks, and I want to make dolls to portray all different types of people. I would love to meet up virtually and trash some dolls together sometime.
Amazing. I'm going to Value Village again this week. Maybe I'll pick up some more dolls.
Yeah,
This is a good segue into my scary earrings.
Yes.
Oh, let's see.
Because I went to Value Village yesterday and I was like, you know what would make good earrings? It's terrifying.
That's good.
But
Amazing.
I also made
Put them on. I want to see them on. Put
Okay,
them
I'll put
on.
them
I
on.
want to see them
I
on.
will put them on. Give me a second.
Model those.
Excuse my speed.
It's all good. Just, oh my God, I love them already. She has creepy earrings. Oh, you're watching on the screen. Okay.
And then I'll show you the other one.
Oh my
Terrifying.
God.
Oh yeah.
And then I made legs and I made arms. I love the sexy leg earrings so much. My dad said that I'm like that kid
Oh
from Toy Story
my.
who destroys toys.
I love that.
Those are great. Those are great.
Would wear 100%. Oh my God.
Yeah. So those are all my double
Oh,
earrings.
lovely. Lovely, lovely.
But also because I'm just that powerful. These are earrings.
Are they air fresheners?
They're dental dams.
Oh
nice.
And I have condom earrings.
Yes.
And I have lube earrings because I feel like it's just so powerful to be able to go on a date and be like, so do you have protection? And then you just take your earring off.
Yeah.
And I also made my birth control into earrings because obviously.
Dude, I love that.
And let me showcase some of my polymer earrings.
What a conversation starter too. Oh my gosh, just walking and wearing.
Right? These are my favorite. Sorry, these are my favorite polymer earrings.
Yes.
I love them. I also have mushrooms, obviously, because I'm a lesbian.
Cute. I love mushrooms too.
And I have these ones.
Oh
They're
yeah,
really
those are
long.
really good. Those match your cool jacket.
Yeah. And then I have these. I want to make some better vulvas first.
Amazing.
And I made a pin too. I like this pin.
Oh, wait, you also had guillotine ones, which I was very, very into.
The other guillotine ones I threw out because they were kind of one-sided. I'm working on making a new pair. This one is like, it's much better at being double-sided.
Dude, yes.
Yeah, and I'm in the middle of making the second one. It's in process. I start with white and then I paint it later so that it's so that you can kind of see the darker stuff in the grooves. It's really just about like rolling it out and flattening it. It's pretty simple. It just takes a long time.
Love.
I also have hot sauce earrings.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the guillotines are my favorite.
Mine too. I was actually going to make like a shrinky dink. Do you know what a shrinky dink is?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. So it's like you take like number 6 plastic and you draw on it with like a Sharpie and a colored Sharpie and whatever. And then you stick it in the oven and it shrinks and then you flatten it out and it makes like just like these little charms. And so I was going to make like beheaded like Donald Trump and beheaded like Kavanaugh and like all sorts of politicians and billionaires and stuff and attach them to the guillotine earrings.
That's awesome.
But I don't have Sharpies or number 6 plastic, so.
You know what? I remember using that plastic that shrinks when I was a kid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember where I got it from. Like, I can't imagine where I would have. You know what? There was this like crazy store downtown. It was called Byway, and it had like all kinds of random stuff in bins, and I'm pretty sure I got it there.
Amazing.
I feel like I have some. If you give me your address, I'll mail you some.
Okay.
You can throw in a mask if you need one too.
Yeah. Amazing.
Oh my God. So I graduated grade 12 this year.
Congratulations.
In our grad bag, they gave us a school face mask.
Like with the school logo on it or something?
Yeah. What
I think
graduating class has ever gotten a face mask? I'm
like, I just think that's great, but in like an ironic way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Memories.
Practical. When I opened the bag,
Well, it is.
skimpy panties.
It is 2020. That is going to be the token of this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
That and
Sweet. A really lovely lady in our community made masks for the kids at the studio for summer programs. And like, yeah, I don't want to, yeah, well, she did an amazing job. Her first question though was like, how many boys and how many girls? I'll make like little pink and blue masks. And I was like, let's not do that, you know? So there's still like, this community is very old fashioned in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I do feel like there's a sense of neighborliness here where like those conversations are possible.
Yeah.
So it's just starting those conversations is the like difficulty, I guess.
Shut up.
And now there's PFLAG, which
Yes.
I don't know what PFLAG stands for. Like I don't know actually.
No, it stands for Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. It's an acronym that started whenever that organization started, let's say the 70s. I don't know the history exactly. So it's a little outdated, but they haven't changed it. But I think that they don't use that full name anymore. It's just PFLAG. And moving here to the Valley, like going to one of those meetings was a good way to meet other people in the community. And the work that PFLAG and Pembroke Pride do here is really, really great. So shout out to Jill and Jamie for all the stuff they do in the Valley.
Yeah, it's amazing. Jill is a monster. She's amazing. Every time I see her, I'm just amazed at how much she does in the community, like what great ally she is, and yeah,
all
awesome.
the education work that is being done as well.
Yeah, like above and beyond. She's so awesome. Actually, PFLAG is sponsoring a queer drawing club at the studio. So the first Wednesday in July, not July 1st, but not next week, the week after is the first week. And I have this really amazing artist who's going to come and teach it. And it's just like a safe space, drop in, you know, bring your sketchbook, but I also have stuff if you don't have anything, and just like a chill environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm pretty pumped for that. I have to say, like, as soon as I was like, I can't believe that you live here. This is amazing. You know? Like, you're making amazing embroidered velvet portraits, and you're just, like, super cool and awesome, and I'm really glad that you moved here.
Aw, thank you. It's a lovely place to live. I was just thinking about what you're saying about the queer drawing club and the fact that we're all on here talking about how important sewing is, that I would love to help have a queer sewing club at Dreamshare.
Yeah. Well, so I just started
stitch and bitch, if you will.
Yeah, I just started a sewing program, and there's been like not a lot of signups because I feel like whenever I start something new, like when I started Young Filmmakers, it was just hard to get parents to understand like what it was. But now that I'm doing the sewing, it's called Needlecraft this summer, I think that that'll get more kids into it, and I think definitely like in the fall we could do something like that.
Sweet.
Yeah. Because like it's like I'm learning to play the accordion, like learning. I'm not gonna say I play the accordion. I'm learning, but like I've been trying to get kids to play, and I just find like they just think it's lame. But I think the accordion is like the coolest. I think it's like the derpiest, coolest instrument I've ever seen in my life. And so I don't understand why nobody wants to learn it, but like people feel like that sometimes about sewing, but I feel like if we show them how we can make sewing awesome, then, that could work.
Oh my God, it's such a great skill.
Oh yeah.
To have. I'm so glad to have
It's
it.
one of those things too, it seems way more complicated, and then you learn it, and you like can do a stitch, and you're like, okay, so anything now, and I was like, what? Really?
Totally. Yeah, it's empowering for sure. Especially if, you know, you can't find clothes that fit or work for you. Like, yeah, or if you just don't want to walk around wearing corporate logos and you can make your own amazing logos like Afra.
Yeah. I like what you were saying too, Cameron, about like you just do it free form without measuring. You know, like there is a place and a time for doing it properly, like cutting out the pattern and measuring all the things. For example, if you were trying to make a tailored suit, like you would need that. And the dress shirts that Jay makes need to be measured and precise. But there's also so much room to just like wing it and see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
And like try it on and like pin something and then change it and try it on again and like look in the mirror and like come and hot and come back to it. And yeah, it can be a work in progress. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. There's a drag queen in town who does everything by glue gun and exactly that. With throw stuff on and pin it and cut stuff off, add stuff. My niece actually, I brought home some sewing. She's 5 years old. She grabbed a piece of scrap fabric. She's like, I want a dress out of this. I'm like, oh honey, we probably won't get that done in like the 2 days that I'm here. She comes back, she wrapped it around her body, and it looked like a real dress. And I was just shocked. I was like, you're a natural girl.
That's awesome. Is that Tabitha's kids?
Yeah, it's her second. She
has
3 altogether.
Yeah, I know. I just see on Facebook like she's just producing children. Like, good for her. That's sweet.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my goodness.
My bunny is just standing around my feet, begging me to pet her. The reason I went off
I brought
screen
some of
for
my
a
other
second.
shirts. If anyone wants to see those.
Whoops. Whoops.
Oh, where is this? Okay.
Oh.
So slides and shirts. Here's a few rainbow ones I've made. These are like mine personally. I wore this one to Pride. This was just a recent I made. And it's got a hoodie on it. It's really brief.
Awesome.
Button ups. I love like super wild stuff. So here's one of my favorites. This one that's for viral too. It's got ducks on it.
Oh my God.
And I actually duck buttons on it too.
Oh, that's so magical.
So I love making them super like gender non-conforming, like really like gay patterns, as I call it, and just matching like, just a bit of a rainbow on the side. I have to say, working at Fabricland has been amazing for my sewing skills. They have a program where once a month you're allowed to take fabric and they pay for it, and you have 2 weeks to make something, and then it hangs in the store. So like my sewing skills have really improved. And I recommend it if anyone wants to like really like you have to know how to sew to a degree to work at Fabricland, but once you're there, like to improve, it's such a great resource for that.
That's so awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, I love Fabricland.
Does anybody know anything about bead embroidery?
A little bit, yeah.
Just because I got a bunch of beads because I was at Valley Village the other day and I saw just like a lot of beads for like $3, and I was like, well, I can learn bead embroidery if I want to now. But I'm just a little bit worried about like appropriating like indigenous bead meditation and stuff. I just want to make sure that like it just doesn't sort of cross the line there. And so if you know about like any different sort of cultural beading, like British beading or like Japanese beading or anything, like some resources for that kind of thing would be really good.
So since you're going to Montreal, there's a couple different people that do beading like workshops, bead embroidery like on fabric. Mm-hmm. and it's generally like a specific needle that they use that kind of goes through and you bead as you go kind of thing like this. and it's what's the technique that they use in haute couture, like in any of the fashion houses in Europe that do beading on fabrics. So it's more like adornment rather than say like a whole piece, a whole like art piece. It's more like adorning clothing.
That's cool. People who bead around here. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. I know some people who bead around here, but yeah, they're all indigenous. Trying to think of like I've done some like I have been interested in my Ukrainian roots a little bit lately because I'm more Ukrainian than anything else. But my grandma, who's Ukrainian, didn't want us to like she was like really heavily persecuted in the town that she lived in, and she didn't want us to face any stigma. We don't speak Ukrainian. We didn't like, you know, it wasn't until she was a lot older that, oh, Laura Julian says, Jay, your shirts are amazing. Yeah. Yeah, so I've been kind of getting more into that, and I did this, like, I wish I had it here in the studio, but I don't. I have this big beaded headpiece that I made that was in Ukrainian style, like a wedding.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, but like or like British, I don't really know about any kind of British arts personally.
I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about like embroidery is because like I feel like a lot of people try to like connect back to their roots with their art. Like I feel like that's really important for a lot of people, and so my family were straight up colonizers. So like I don't really have a lot of cultures to sort of connect to. But I feel like embroidery, like it's one of them. And like textile art is one of them because like for white women, like a lot of the time they wouldn't have access to art supplies unless they were like really rich or something, but they always had access to textiles and embroidery and stuff. And so I feel like it's kind of connecting to the collective unconsciousness of women in a way, and I think that's really powerful.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. And embroidery is one of the art forms that's always been put under craft.
Oh yeah,
because it's primarily done by women, historically, and you know any of the fine art skills that women have are considered craft.
Yeah.
There's actually a degree you can do at the University of Fredericton that's a craft degree. That's so cool. I feel like it's starting to get a little bit more recognition as like some serious skill is required to do so many of the like historical crafts.
I feel like Judy Chicago was a big sort of help there too. Like her ceramic work and like her textile work. I think that kind of stuff sort of really being recognized for the first kind of time was really revolutionary in this field.
Okay, Abra went before Bree said something and I was like started to say something. I was gonna say, have you guys been to New York City to see the dinner party?
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
I have a book with all them if you don't want to go to New York City because it's in America, but if you ever want to check it out, I have this amazing book. And I remember like I went on a trip to New York and I walked into this, like nobody else wanted to go see the dinner party. Everyone else wanted to go to like whatever, I don't know, the Met or whatever. I was like, no, I'm gonna like go to Brooklyn and see the freaking dinner party. And I walked into this, like, it's in a dark room and there's nobody else there, and it was like a magical experience. So I totally recommend that.
I think my favorite piece by her, I don't know if you've seen it, I forget exactly what it was called, but it's kind of like it was a room piece, like it was like set up, it was display art, and you sort of like, I've seen photos of it, but you sort of walk in and there's a toilet and there's like pads and stuff hanging everywhere and there's like menstrual products everywhere. I don't know, I thought that was like really gorgeous,
Cool. No, I don't think I've seen that.
It was about like I think it was also about like like throwaway culture and stuff with like disposable pads.
Yeah. That's tough. I'm actually this summer with all the kids programs, I'm like bringing in a lot of reclaimed item elements. I'm like, we're going to talk like, so I have already implemented like that we go and do river cleanups because we use the river, we film at the river, we enjoy the river. So like we take buckets and we go out with gloves and everything and clean up the river. But I definitely like opening this space, I want everything to be secondhand if possible, but sometimes that's not possible, but I've really done my best to make sure that everything, like, I would rather pay more for something secondhand than, you know, whatever, buy something from some store that I don't go to. Some store that shall not be named.
And like alterations and sewing is a skill that really fosters that too. It's like repairing, mending, altering things to give it another life, bringing it up to date, changing the elastic, whatever it may be, because there's like fashion is the biggest waste industry in the world right now, and that's not just like the way that they're produced, but the quantity and like where it goes to waste and stuff. So being able to give things a second life or a third life is really valuable.
That's true. That's true. So important. Goodness.
Can I just tell you the favorite tip I've ever gotten from Miss Jensen?
Please.
Because so with polymer clay, at first it's kind of like this weird texture, like you can just kind of pull it apart. But as you sort of warm it up, it gets more stretchy and workable. And so she told me, oh yeah, you can work it in your hands, warm it up in your hands. Or you could just put it in your bra and just let it sit for a while.
That's good. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. Pro tips. Okay, Jay, what about sewing tips? What's a good
sewing
like
tips?
Yeah.
Okay, so like sewing is like as much ironing as it is sewing. That's one thing that was surprising.
Oh my god, that was going to be my sewing tip for you guys too.
Yeah, no way. Yeah. I actually get angry how much I have to iron sometimes. Anyways, also, yeah, I heard someone was mentioning something about alterations and mending. Like, it's picking a certain area of sewing. It's once you can sew, like, yes, you can do it all, but I think it's really valuable to kind of pick a certain route and go down and get really good at that. Like, I find I actually don't do a lot of alterations and mending specifically because it is kind of its own skill set, and I do not have the patience for it. I feel like I would rather just make something from scratch than alter something sometimes.
Yeah.
Just end up looking.
Personally, I find alterations like so satisfying to do because of that, like the history that the garment has and bringing it forward, and like taking it apart, you see how it was made, so you learn so much more about like other techniques. So I can do your alterations. You can do the from scratch stuff.
Deal like that. Yes, back in the original clothing, its original voice, and that sounds awesome. I love taking pieces of it to make it. I don't think like I could wear the same garment. I could see how that would be so satisfying in the end, because yeah, I do alterations and it kind of just looks, it's not as crisp as I want it to be. So if I saw someone do such a good alteration, I'd be like, yes, honey. What else? Always make sure your fabric's facing the right way.
Yeah.
Oh, the number of times I've
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah, right away. What about everyone else?
I say definitely iron is like key. A good iron when you're sewing is very important. It makes the fabrics you're joining become one.
Okay.
Become one.
Sorry.
Cool.
so much noise.
Oh my God. Okay, guys, we only have 4 minutes left.
Oh.
I just realized. Oh my goodness.
We're just having so much fun chatting. Wait.
Yeah, let's do a final reveal about what we're working on here. I guess you want to go first, Jay?
Sure. So I can only get so far. I found my glue gun, but I have no glue sticks. So I couldn't actually put it, but I have the kind of final look of the front yoke anyway. I don't know if you're able to see it well. Oh, let's see if I can get it there.
Ooh, so pretty.
So you see the feather big up there, and like those littler fluffy feathers. Wait, let's angle. There we go. Yeah. To kind of fill it in and give it a really nice bird look.
Oh my God, yes, amazing
Yeah, so
detail.
it's gonna go right here. Thank you.
All right, how about you, Bree?
Okay. Well, it's into one piece. I haven't really placed this outer one yet, but it's in progress.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, can you do like a close up on the crystal? Sorry. Oh, so cool.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. I
All
love
the
that.
little folds in the leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
This
mask.
lovely, like crunchy hair cubes.
Yep. Beautiful. Okay, Afra.
I didn't do a whole lot. I'm not the most productive, but I made like the next earring. I just have to attach the pieces and put a little hole in it. So I got to attach the earring piece, and then I'm going to bake it, and I'm going to paint it. So that way.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so that way, like, it just has a nice finish. But I just had to start with the base for now.
I think your plan of the guillotine heads is genius.
Yeah, I'm so excited, but I need to get Shrinky Dink material.
Yeah, that's like out of control amazing. I'm super pumped. All right, so I got. Oh, go.
Oh,
Jay,
I'm
did
just
you?
out of control of it, and like yeah, the heads. I
It's genius. It's genius. Your creativity is
Thank
genius.
you.
So this sleeve, working on this sleeve here. That's how I like it to drape. Real easy.
Yeah.
And this one's not done yet, and then I finished the orange one, and then I just have to do my my leopard. Yeah, and that's my summer look. So I always have a seasonal look. I'm like a big fan of buying stuff secondhand and then passing it on when you're done with it. So my seasonal look this year is like black leggings, black t-shirt, or like top, like a comfy like bamboo t-shirt, and then like muumuus, or like these like crazy tropically t-shirts on top with like pockets.
Yes.
Yeah.
My summer look is not going outside because I only have long sleeve sweaters.
There you go. You have to get some.
My summer look is crop tops and crazy hats and earrings.
Amazing.
And Tiger King.
Yeah, and Tiger King looks.
Yeah, Bree did an amazing Tiger King, like, whatever, installation. And then I did a Carol Baskin.
Amazing.
Yes, it was great.
It was good. It was good. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. This was so much fun.
Oh, this was so lovely. Thank you for doing this, Cameron.
Yeah, like, let's do it again anytime. I'm down. Okay,
Happy Pride.
Yeah, happy Pride, everybody.
Yeah, ready.
Yay, thank you. And I'll make a video. I'll mash it all up into a video with music. Cool. Okay.
All right.
Have a great day.